have a sweet tooth. Let me show you how I made my strawberry cheesecake keto low-carb style. Now, don't get it twisted. This cheesecake has the same flavor as my regular strawberry cheesecake. It's just a little twist to it. Now, per usual, here is your view of the ingredients. Now, don't forget, I will leave a list of all the ingredients down in the description bar. So I came across a brand named High Key. This is not sponsored, as they say. And they make a variety of keto-friendly snacks. And one of the things is the cookies. And these cookies remind me of the vanilla wafer. So we're going to use these cookies for our cookie crust for our strawberry cheesecake. So most of the time, I use my NutriBullet to ground up my cookies for my cookie crust. Now, if you don't have one, you can put them in a plastic bag and you can crunch them up that way, or you can use any food processor or blender of your choice. As you see, I am getting my cheesecake pans ready. I got these mini cheesecake pans from Michael's. I like to use these medium-sized pans when I'm making smaller desserts, such as cheesecakes or cakes or any small medium desserts. So I'm just showing you how I line them and get them prepared for baking. Alrighty, so my cake pans are ready to go. So I get my cookie crust, and actually I'm going to add some coconut flour so I can just stiffen up the crust a little bit when it's time to bake. You want to make sure you mix it evenly so there's no clumps of flour throughout your mixture. As I'm putting the cookie crust into the pan, I am going to pack it down and make sure that it's even so I can have an even crust layer. This next step, I'm going to melt some butter and add it to the cookie crust. Now, there's two ways you can do this. You can either melt some butter and mix it in with the cookie crumbs, then pack it down to make your crust, or you can do it this way. I'm going to melt some butter and then I'm going to pour that butter over the crust. On to the next step. So this is just truly eyeballing the strawberry sauce. I use my chopped strawberries, adding a little sugar-free strawberry flavoring, some monk fruit sweetener. I am truly just eyeballing this. There is no real measurements to this. So I would say start with a little, not a lot, and taste it as you go. But remember, the pot is hot. So you can see the sauce is thickened up. Now, this is how I like it. So put it in something and put it to the side and let it cool. So tell me something. Are we coming along or are we coming along? So let's get into this batter. So you guys, it is so many ways to flip cheesecake. So you're going to see me do this batter time and time again until I run out of cheesecake ideas. And one more thing, don't forget to take that cookie crust out of the oven. You don't want it to burn. And as you can see, while I'm mixing my ingredients, I am doing everything one at a time. Not like some of those videos you see where they just dump the eggs, the dry ingredients, and everything at once really, really fast. And then they just beat and beat and beat and mix and mix and mix. You don't want to do that. You want to use each ingredient, take your time, and lightly mix. Make sure things are thoroughly mix through, because like I said before, if you overbeat eggs or anything, the batter is just not gonna taste great when it cooks. And make sure when you're putting the batter into the pans to not overfill, because when it starts to cook, if it's too high, it will rise and it can spill over. So you just want to make sure it's all even, and sometimes I pat the sides of it to kind of even it out. Now, when I drag my butter knife through, this is my way of trying to make a design and trying to spread the puree sauce around the cheesecake. And also what I've noticed is I do have to start listing how long I've cooked this for. Usually I'm so used to cooking these desserts that I actually never time myself. My mom actually uses a timer, and I am going to invest in a timer, and I am going to start timing how long I cook things. But one way to check your desserts is by the look, and if you have any toothpicks, make sure you put a toothpick in the middle, and when you pull it up to see if it's dry. Now with cheesecake, it can still be a little wet, as long as it's just not too loose in the middle. And make sure after you cook your cheesecake, you always let it set. Ooh-wee, and there you have it, some TV magic. The cheesecake is ready and it's done, and we're going to let it set. Now, I promise you, this is the last step of anything you will have to mix. I'm pretty sure this went by fast. I know it went by fast for me, but anywho, You can eat your cheesecake the way it is. You can just top it off with some strawberries. But the way I like to do it is we like to add a little bit of the cheesecake icing or frosting, as you call it. Here we're going to add our sugar-free Cool Whip. Now, the way I was taught was to mix it in with a spatula. Make it like a fluffy texture so it can just keep it fluffy. And if you don't have a piping bag, you can use a Ziploc bag, or you can just use an ice cream scooper or a spoon to top off your cheesecake with. Since I bake, I just so happen to have a piping bag handy. When getting the cheesecakes out of the pan after they cool, make sure you get a butter knife or some type of sharp knife and just go around the edges of the cheesecake. Now, these pans are one of those release cheesecake pans, so once you snap open the sides, you'll be able to lift the cheesecake out of the pan. So if you notice in the beginning of this video, I had some whole strawberries set aside and some chopped strawberries set aside. The whole ones I'm just kind of slicing down the middle because it's going to go for a little decoration on top. And as you can see, I saved some cookie crumbs just to top it off. And then I'm actually going to grate a little white chocolate over the cheesecake. You can melt some white chocolate. These sugar-free white chocolate doesn't really melt that great. I have a video where I kind of showed you how to melt the sugar-free ones. But I'm just grating a little white chocolate on top. And we are finished. So like I say all the time, if you like what you see, make sure to like the video. And if you want to see more, make sure you subscribe. Bye-bye.